Hello there, I am No Nickname. Welcome back to another Age of Empires online video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and by these I mean a player versus player game. However, some people have been requesting it, and also I've actually been playing quite a bit of player versus player games recently. The reason I chose this particular game is because, well, first of all, it's a good game, and secondly, it's also a long game. And I actually managed something I don't do very often, which is to actually transition well into the late game. But before we get to that, notice that I, instead of gathering the berries there, went directly for the hunt, getting the hunting upgrade in the process. That's something you want to do if you can, but really only if you can find a hunt early. That's because hunts are actually gathered quite a bit faster than berries, but of course it's not really worth it if you have to wait too long before building a storehouse at your berries if you can't find a hunt. So I'd say, like, if you can't find it within like 10 or 15 seconds, just build a storehouse at your berries instead and get the berry upgrade. Now, this is a map with cows, as I discovered pretty quickly, so I'm going to try to scout around as much as possible to find those cows. And I'm sending them to the storehouse with the huntable animals there. Because then my villagers won't have to walk to get to the cows. And there's actually the enemy, but apparently he didn't see those cows there, so those are mine. I'm going to age up with 15 villagers. If you've watched some of my earlier videos with player versus player games, I didn't do exactly that, but 15 villagers is pretty good. It also allows you to make a barracks quite quickly, actually, before you even start aging up, and it doesn't delay your age up. So that means that if you have to, or if you want to, you can actually start making spearmen before you've even aged up. You're gonna want to start doing that after you start aging up, but you don't have to wait for it to complete. So I should actually be reaching that 200 food and 200 wood pretty quickly. And here's also the enemy base, as I discovered earlier. Nothing out of the ordinary there just yet. So I'm putting some villagers on gold now. Of course, always remember to do that. I sometimes forget, and that doesn't go very well. Depends what kind of units you want to make, how many units you want to put on gold, of course, but 2 or 3 is probably good. One thing that's a bit annoying on this map actually is the forest, which kind of block my scout a bit here. I try to scout all of the areas, but it kind of takes a while before I realize I have to actually move my scout manually through the trees. So now I aged up, and I'm beginning to get the economic upgrades as quickly as I can. I didn't have enough wood right now for the gold mining upgrade, but I'll get that when I can. Also, something I want to do, which I'm actually not doing now, is to build a house, preferably as fast as you can, otherwise you will do what I just did and get population blocked, and that's obviously not something you want to have happen. Actually deleted that house to get gold for, no, sorry, the wood I needed for the gold mining upgrade. So I've built a stable, and also I built that barracks earlier. It seems he is building, I think that was an archer range and a stable. So if I can micro my units, I should be able to beat that combination, but still archers and cavalry usually should actually beat spearmen and cavalry if you come back with it properly, because archers can't kill the spearmen, sorry, and well, it kind of depends on the micro really. Anyway, I'm deciding to build a archer range there too, to get a more solid combination of units. Also trying to remember to make units as much as I can. Also, keeping up villager production is very important, especially this early in the game. And also now I'm sending out a couple of Sarasaporoi here to raid the enemy and also scout his base, because I want to know what he's doing. And that's very important actually early in the game. I'm moving in from this angle, by the way, to kind of surprise him, because I know he has the base on the other side there. And I found some gold miners. Go ahead and kill some of those. Apparently I didn't really notice that. Not quite sure why actually. So I have to make sure I don't get population blocked again, even though I actually am now. Now I noticed that Sarasaporoi was almost dead, so I decided to get him out of there. And there come actually his Sarasaporoi, so I have to get out of his base now. But I killed that one villager also actually. Now I know that he has Sarasaporoi, so I'll be prepared for that in case he tries to raid me. However, he didn't actually have that many Sarasaporoi, so I'm actually thinking of maybe attacking him already. I know it's not that early in the game, but it's not like I'm rushing or something, but I don't always attack this early. Actually find his scout there, but actually managed to get away. And there is his army, which was a bit bigger than I thought it was. So I'll have to retreat from that just now. It won't be any problem if he comes to my base, but obviously he won't do that, because then he'll lose his army. Now my army is actually sizing up quite a bit though. So I can probably start thinking of attacking him. I think I do that quite soon. I was trying to get a bear upgrade there, I'm not quite sure why I did that. Alright, I was running out of cows, so I wanted to get that in advance. I think I actually forgot to do that though. Also some idle villagers there, that's a bit annoying to watch now, but didn't notice it then. So I'm attacking that watchtower to draw him out. He doesn't seem to be very eager to fight right now though, so I'm just gonna poke at that watchtower a bit and try to make him attack me. And now I'm getting those berries, making several storehouses to spread out my villagers a bit. And also I'm getting a bit of spare resources, so I decided to make a new military building. If you're starting to have a bit of spare resources, you probably want to start making more buildings, unless you're setting up to age up or something. Right, so here I try to attack him. He has actually not that much, he hasn't brought in anything else up from his base yet, so I'm able to beat that quite effectively. I'm running my Sarasaporoi around to try to avoid the anti-cavalry units he has and also kill his archers. he had a couple of peltasts and a couple of what they're called, prodromos there. So he has actually aged up to the 3rd age. I don't think I've noticed that, but now I know. So even though he's in the 3rd age, I just killed his army, so I'm gonna try to attack his base and maybe kill a couple of his buildings anyway. I'm also spamming several more military buildings here. Trying to keep my cavalry out away from the prodromos, because they're quite good against cavalry. And my plan here was to actually just try and end the game. Of course, looking at the game timer, you'll know that that didn't actually exactly work out. Because unless like ran around for 20 minutes with villagers or something, but I don't think it would do that. Anyway, I'm able to kill a couple of buildings here. I'm almost done with that, and I think I killed one other a bit later. He doesn't really have that many units either. So I'm actually quite confident at this time, but as you'll see soon, I will be stopped temporarily. Yeah, there goes the 2nd building down actually. Well, soon. It actually has a random stable there, that's a bit odd, but actually I have no idea why he built that there. It seems kind of strange. I mean, you don't really have to build stables forward anyway, because cavalry are so fast anyway, so they can just run around without really having to be in a forward base. Now there is actually building a fortress. I decided to just go for it and try to kill it before it gets up. Units do quite a bit of damage against buildings while they're not completely built yet. He has a lot of villagers on that fortress though, so it actually does get up. And for a moment I tried to just kill it anyway, because it has kind of low health, but fortresses are, as I found out, very good. So I had to I end up having to retreat there, moving my units back now. And he also has a couple of units hitting mine, so they're slowed down and are taking even more shots from the fortress. That's not very good. So right now, I can't kill his base basically. So this actually happens quite a bit in player versus player games in this game, where basically one player just turtles with fortresses because they're actually quite powerful. So what you want to do now is, first of all, not to do what I'm doing now and try to attack a fortress with infantry. That's not a good plan. Instead, what I want to do is what I'm going to do in a moment, which is to actually just boom and spam several town centers, get to the 3rd and preferably also the 4th age, and get a lot of villagers and a good economy going. Because while he has his base defended, he doesn't really have any map control, so he can't really expand or anything. So he's just forced to sit inside his base, and after a while that is really not good for him at all, economically. Because obviously he can't get all the resources he wants just inside a small base. Of course he can farm and stuff, but without more location to gather wood and gold from, unless he starts a trade route, that doesn't really go very well. So he will lose resources the longer he stays in his base. As you can see, I'm already quite ahead in score, and it will only get higher in score once I continue to expand my economy. So right now, I mean, he doesn't really have any army. Well, almost anything. So I can boom and get to the third age quite safely without worrying too much about that. Without him killing me. I'm also getting stone there, which is very important to do, preferably before you're in the third age, because then you can start making town centers and, if I have to, fortresses. As soon as you're aged up. I'm also making quite a bit of farms now. This is, I think, one of my least favorite parts of this game. Making farms. For some reason I really am not good at making farms quickly. I mean, I can make them quickly, but it takes long to click everywhere. Especially in this game for some reason. I have no idea why. In other Age of Empires games I could do that just fine, but it's so difficult to place farms in this game for some reason. They're so big or whatever. I didn't build that storehouse, by the way, because it's actually, that gold mine is almost empty, so don't have to waste resources in the storehouse there. So what I'm doing now is to expand to other places, and both of those places you just told me go to are close to where I end up building my town centers. Close to those villages there, actually between those and that gold mine, and also close to the other gold mine up north there. Those are pretty good places to build town centers. Quite easily defendable, and also close to resources, of course. I'm also placing down my market there, behind where I build my town center, because that will be a bit easier to defend. And of course, I want to make my town center be able to gather as many resources as possible, so I don't have to make any unnecessary storehouses. So I placed them close to both the wood and gold and food up there, up north. And just so I was considering also making it inside that forest there. I actually build a third town center there quite soon. Selling some resources there to get upgrades. Well, my plan is to get to the 4th age to take out this fortress, or fortresses. I still want to be able to defend myself, so I'm getting some military upgrades anyway. I'm quite close to my population cap, so I can't really make that much more military. And my armor is quite big anyway, so... idle villagers. They're everywhere. Alright, so now I have several town centers going, and I don't want to make spearmen when I'm in the 3rd age, of course, so I'm making hoplites instead. And once you have several town centers going, I now have 3, you can really expand your economy quickly. Obviously 3 times as fast, because you have 3 times as many town centers. That fortress, by the way, the way I placed that actually turns out to be quite important later in the game. I actually deleted that storehouse just so I could place the fortress there, because I thought that was the most strategic position, as both of the main routes he has to my base comes right up to that fortress there. And then that Sarah's offered to scout there. He has somewhat of an army now. So I decided to make more military buildings, because I'm beginning to get quite a bit of resources, and if he somehow manages to kill my army, I want to be able to respond quickly. Because resources just sitting there isn't really any useful if you have just a couple of military buildings, because then you can't use the resources quickly enough to actually save yourself if you lose your army. making a trade route there, by the way, up to the furthest away town center. Now he is actually catching up a bit in score, and I did notice that at the time. So I was actually considering going out to attack quite soon. Now, yeah, I think I was beginning to do that right now. Just have to move some idle builders around. Well, maybe it was a bit later I decided to attack. But yeah, he actually attacks me now, and I was actually in a much better position than I actually intended to be in, if that makes sense, because my archers are actually very well positioned behind that fortress and also inside those houses, so they're basically untouchable by his army. And I'm able to run my Sarasofra around to flank his archers there, and they're basically dead. So I killed his entire army without really losing anything. And that's very good, of course. His army was quite a bit smaller than mine anyway, so in an open engagement I still would have won, but I saved a bunch of units there by staying in my base. So obviously if you just beat his army, it's often very tempting to attack him. It turned out that wouldn't be a very good idea now. I still try for a bit, but he actually has several fortresses in his base, so I'm not able to kill him just yet. Those fortresses are very powerful. They do quite a bit of damage, even against Sarasofra, which actually have ranged armor. They still do damage against those quite effectively, so I'm trying to kill. I mean, if it was only one fortress, I could have killed it easily with my spearmen and hoplites. But he has a second fortress there, the one he built earlier, which is providing cover fire for the first one. So I have to retreat. I didn't even out the score, but I made it even more in my favor, so that's good. And I think I'm going to start thinking about aging up quite soon, because I mean, in Age 3 you don't really have anything that's very good against several fortresses. I mean, hoplites and stuff are good against a small number of fortresses, like one or well, one is probably close to the limit, but if he has any more than that, you probably want to get to the 4th age to get long-range siege weapons, because rams don't really work very well anyway. I was actually building a second wall there, and I killed this villager. And I decided to move up here a bit, because he doesn't have that many fortresses everywhere there. So I can do some damage without taking too much unnecessary damage. Yeah, there I start edging up to the 4th age. As you saw, I tried to make a Polintenon, and obviously I wasn't in a high enough age, so that didn't work. So I'm moving up to his eastern wall there. Try to maybe do a bit of damage against that. And he at least doesn't have a fortress right next to it, so I'm able to hit it with my units. Now my army is much larger than his, but I still can't kill his base because of those fortresses. But he can't get out of his base either because of my army, so I definitely have the advantage, even though I can't really kill him. First of all, because I actually have 4 town centers now. I'm at the maximum 200 population, and that's very good because I can get the maximum amount of units and also a very good economy. And I very much doubt he has that many town centers. Just looking at his score. I'm starting to... Well, I think I start to make Polyntonons soon. Yes, I'm doing that now. I know that a lot of people actually don't use Polyntonons that much. They prefer ballistas from the Siege Workshop. But I actually find Polyntonons to be quite good, so I'm not sure why they're not used that much. I mean, they're not as good against units, but they're really good at taking out buildings because of their massive range. I'm even building a second fortress there to maybe make some more Polyntonons if I need that. And I have my first one now, so I mean even just one Polyntonon can, if you can protect it well, it can destroy the entire enemy base. And it doesn't even take that long. So I'm deciding to move up here. I'm going for this route here, because the other route is obviously not very safe. Also getting the upgrade for the Polyntonons. It's quite a good upgrade actually. I'm upgrading my other units too, because I can, and obviously I always want to do that. So I'm targeting his fortress now. As long as I defend that Polyntonon, and it's very well placed there behind my army and the forest. So as long as I defend it, he can't really defend himself. I'm getting the Hippie upgrade there, by the way, because if you're in the 4th age, you pretty much always want to make Hippie, unless he only has anti-cavalry or something, because Hippie are really good. And I actually pressed the wrong hotkey there. My hotkey to find all idle villagers is Alt plus V, and actually that's Alt plus C, which apparently enables friend and foe colors. So I learned a new hotkey there. He's just retreating, because he knows he can't kill my army. And he actually does something quite soon, which could be a good idea. We'll see it pretty soon. I'm taking out his fortress there though, and he really has no way of defending against this. I'm not even bothering doing it too quickly because he's trapped anyway. So I'm getting the final upgrades there, which will make my units very powerful. I believe he is still in the 3rd age, so that's more of an advantage to me. And there actually see he is bringing up much of his army to attack my base, and I figure because I have siege and fully upgraded units, I'm just gonna go for his base. And not even bother if he maybe kills a couple of my villagers or something, because I'm just so very much ahead of him. I even killed his only town center there, so he's actually on the defeat timer there. So I don't even care that he's killing my villagers, because he can't do it quickly enough before I can have killed him. It's no way he's going to do that. I also have some spare population, so I can actually just train units at my base to defend against it. He even split up his army, which actually makes it even easier for me. So my Polyntonons are ripping apart his fortresses and buildings there. He's basically dead. He's trying to kill my town center and maybe try to kill my economy. I'm not sure how much other units or buildings he actually has. I think he pretty much only has that army actually. So now I've trained my unit and also brought up my cavalry to defend against this attack, and starting to train Hippie, because why not? So I'm killing his few remaining buildings. It's pretty much over right now. He killed my market, but I mean it's no big deal. I have like several thousand coin. I'm actually almost building an academy there, but I didn't mean to do that. So I suppose I should maybe use them a bit more. There are some nice upgrades there. But anyway, I did win the game. I was really ahead in score the entire game, but because of his turtling skills, he actually was able to defend himself quite successfully for a long time. He fell into the trap of staying in his base for too long though, so... Well, he didn't really do that, but I killed his army when he tried to get out. So... I did eventually win. And actually I often don't do this very well when the game goes to a late stage, because I often forget to make several town centers and stuff like that. So I did quite well this game actually, better than I usually do. I mean, I'm not like a professional Age of Empires player or anything, but I did quite well, I think. So that was that game. I hope you found this useful and can maybe use it in your own games if you didn't already know everything I just said. So yeah, I'll probably make more Celtic videos pretty soon. Just for information, I'm not on holiday anymore, so I can't make them as quickly as I did a couple of weeks ago, as you probably have noticed if you are subscribed to my channel. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.